Thank you. We are happy again to see you in the second MENA, and we hope that you have enjoyed. Some of you who attended last year's seminar enjoyed our presentation. Now we will review, let's say, or recap what has been presented last year, and we will present something like a case study regarding our project, which has been implemented already. So one of the basins which we talked about last year, now it has been completed, and it is a comprehensive solution. We will see it afterward. Please, Rashid.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm really honored to be here with you all. And today, as discussed, we will delve into Naqab Basin, which is basically in Ras Al Khaimah Emirate. We'll talk about real case scenario and case study, a project we have implemented. Part of it, we have construction going on currently at the moment at site, and we have other future proposals. So let's begin our session. And it's a quick recap. Maybe Yazam can give us for the last
Actually,
year.
we will share this presentation. Maybe a lot of people didn't get used to have something like a joint presentation, but we are working as a team. Rashid and I, we are working and running this project. This is one of the projects which we are running actually, and we know all the history of this project. Of course, we used to have a lot of projects before this project. Studies started 2000 onward, and a few years we are updating the studies. So currently we have 3 stages, and we have around 22 basins. We started with the stage 1, which is in Ras Al Khaimah for 5 basins. And then we have floated another tender for 3 basins. And then lately we floated the remaining basins. So if you can see from the map that we have covered all the eastern and northern coast area. All the coastal areas has been covered within these 13 basins. We concentrated in one of the basins now. Of course, the construction is ongoing in most of these basins, but we concentrated as a case study in one of the basins, which is in Wadi Naqab. And Rashid later on will explain why we concentrated on that. We have here from the ministry, which is called an urgent work or urgent works. We have floated urgent works for these black spots, which has been presented, let's say, by Engineer Khamis this morning. He has identified a lot of black spots in the Federal Road in the Northern Emirates. We dealt with it directly. You know, if there is a water bonding, just check the root of that, why it happened, solve it directly with minor things such as culverts, channels, enlarging the size of the culverts, and so on. This is static things about what we are going to talk about, which is 125 dams as a total. We have 9 bonds. We have 25 breakers, which is less than 10 meters. More than 10 meters we considered as a dam. We have 220 kilometers of channels. The construction cost of these things, approximately, it will be exceeding 2.5 billion dirhams. 1 billion dirham has been allocated as a budget. Now we are started with. The 1.5, it will be allocated within the coming 3 or 4 years. Number of basins, it is 22 or 23 basins if you will consider as a sub-basin is a basin. Total basin area is 2,600 kilometers square, and the total runoff water volume is 210 million cubic meter. We are planning to store 48 million cubic meter out of this running. Next. We'll not talk about the monitoring because
Okay.
this is for the...
So also in the last forum, we talked about the steps we took during our design stages to complete the whole study. So as the first stage you see in the picture, we do the data collection stage where we collect the accurate DEM, paid satellite images, which is very accurate. We use it in our model. In addition to, we collect the rainfall data and weather patterns from the NCMS. We update our rainfall analysis based on that. We also collect the existing infrastructure assets, such as dams and channels related to the ministry. We add it to the study as well, so it's part of the full solution. After that, we do the data analysis. We do first the rainfall analysis. We update all the rainfall for each basin, and we follow the Polygon-Thiessen method. So the most applicable rainfall data, it's applied to each and every basin. And then after that, we run, of course, the hydrology study. Based on very accurate models, we estimate we do the catchment delineation for the major and minor streams. After that, we do calculate the runoff volumes for each subcatchment area and for the main wadis. After that, also we calculate the peak flows for the natural streams, so we can assess the impact of these streams on the downstream residential areas. Once we do the hydrology study and we estimate the peak flows and volumes, we run a very accurate as well 2D modeling for the existing case scenario based on the structures we have right now at the moment without the proposed solutions. So we can see the current effect of the storm. This model actually is based on the 100-year event. So you can see the water flowing all over the major tributaries going downstream the areas. Actually, this is area in Fujairah, which is called Foiz. This is main Safad Wadi. You can see that it's affecting the petroleum assets downstream, and it's very critical. And after that, we add all the solutions that we propose in the upstream in the model, and then we run another scenario, which is the proposed condition, and we make sure that we protect all downstream assets. So we can see here that we added the dams and channels, and we see the positive impact of these structures on the overall area.
Yeah, and I think this is what the doctor was asking about or talking about or advising everybody, the one in Saudi Arabia, that these things should be taken into consideration during planning or the master plan allocated. Once somebody wants to make a master plan for any area which is mountainous terrain or not the plain one, they have to take into consideration these steps, or else whatever will be done inside the cities, it will not be enough. Because here we are talking about million cubic meter, and inside the cities we are talking about liters. So dealing with million cubic meter should be done by channels, dams, and all these mega structures. Naqab?
Yeah, so you can see the very beautiful nature of Wadi Naqab, which is in Iraq Emirate. Actually, it's a wadi that most people would like to visit. There are many hiking trails in this wadi, but again, with all of this beautiful nature, still there are threats and deadly threats on the downstream of this wadi.
So this beautiful wadi is discharging the water into the inhabitant area, unfortunately. So these are facts about the Naqab Dam. The catchment area is 120 kilometer square, and the wadi length is 15 kilometer. This is up to the inhabitant area, but the wadi is continuing all the way to the sea. The basin curve, or the curve number which we have used, is 82 because it's a combination of mountainous, plain, etc. Rainfall depth, we adopted 140 millimeter, although the calculation showed 125, but we went to the conservative part. In some areas, of course, maybe Dr. Tayyib will ask us now, what about Fujairah? We have used 185 millimeter. So the runoff volume was 7.3 million cubic meter. So the target is to store this 7.3 million cubic meter on the upstream in order to protect the downstream. So the total storage volume is 7.4 million cubic meter. Out of that, I think, Rashid, 6.5 million cubic has been stored so far.
Yes.
Yeah, and the remaining, it will be stored in the coming dams. Please.
So I'll just, maybe some of you asking is like why we chose Wadi Naqab as a priority for us for construction. We have a priority matrix for all our 23 basins under study, and based on that we do ranking for all the areas based on many factors, and we got actually a priority for Wadi Naqab, and we now delve into the facts that why we chose this wadi. Actually, if you look the downstream area of Wadi Naqab, you can see that the whole wadi is flowing to first Al Fahlain area, which is in green color, which we have many residential plots here, and then the wadi continues and merges with the Wadi Al Bih, okay? That wadi in the upstream, it merges with Wadi Naqab, and both affect Rock City, which you can see also in the green color. Actually, this wadi alone, which is Naqab Wadi, brings around 600 meter cube per second. It's a very large number affecting the downstream area. The runoff volume we talked about also, it's around 7 million meter cube if we got the 100-year event. And here are the planned and built parcels in the downstream of this wadi. We have more than 2,000 existing plot affected by the 100-year storm, which will be more than 50 centimeter of flood in these areas. In addition to 5,000 future planned plot affected, which is already planned by Iraq municipality, and they have their own master plans. So 5,000 plots will be affected in future. So that's why we chose it as a priority. It's very
This
critical.
is one of the criteria which we are adopting, actually. How many plots will be affected? This is one of the major criteria. And we have a lot of things, other factors like the cost, construction cost, other priorities, and the quantity of water flowing into this area. What is the need of that water, if it will be stored in the upstream? Is there any agricultural area? All these things we are taking into consideration. But from that chart, you can see easily that the Naqab is the most critical one among the 5 basins in this area, which is Ras Al Khaimah city.
Actually, this is the 2D existing condition scenario on the 140 millimeter all over Rock Emirate. Specifically here, you can see in the green colors, this is the depth of water, which is reaching high risk levels. This is affecting the major roads and residential plots. So you can see from the model the criticality of this basin.
All these blue colors, it is more than 50 centimeter in depth, which is a little bit considered as dangerous to the inhabitants. So if this water will be accumulated in a low point, it means that it will be, let's say, showing what has been happened in Dubai last April. This is Naqab Dam, which has been constructed. This is the main dam. We constructed this dam 3 years ago.
Yes.
Yeah, the length of that dam is 260 meter, and the height is 22 from the spillway, and it's 23 from the non-overflow. The capacity is 1 million cubic meter. We have designed the spillway to discharge 1,000-year flood. And the peak flow in this area was calculated as 550 cubic meter per second. The construction cost was around 27 million dirhams.
Moving to stage 2, actually last year we floated to tender another 3 dams in the same wadi and its tributaries. So if you can see in the picture here, the main tributary is the one in the center, but we still have another 2 major tributaries contributing to the same wadi, which is this one in the northern part of the wadi, which is, you can see a new dam we have constructed, we have floated to tender, which is Naqab 1. It's, we'll delve into it in a while. And we have then AF4, which is another tributary on the other side.
Al Fahlain.
Al Fahlain major tributary. So we have 3 major streams affecting the whole area downstream. We have constructed earlier in 2020 Naqab Dam first, and then now we have the 3 dams. I'll talk briefly about each one of them. So currently this one is Naqab 2 Dam. It's in the main wadi of Naqab. The length of it is 180, the height is 18 meter, 1.2 million meter cube capacity. The other one is Naqab 1 Dam, which is on the other side. This is also under construction, will be finished by end of this year. This also have 1.2 million meter cube capacity. The last one is on the other side, which is A4 dam. It's around 1.6 million meter cube, and the height and length is 175 and 23 meter height. The three dams is around 70 million dirhams. Now moving to stage 3.
Yeah, quickly, because we are running out of time. You know, this presentation maybe needs a day, actually, but we have been giving 20 minutes, so we will be strict to the 20 minutes. And you can see that the remaining part is just minimal. You know, if you calculate the quantity, it's less than 1 million cubic meter. So it means that we are in the safe side in this area, and we have covered the basin and protecting all the people down. So we'll run the video.
So this is the post condition, actually. After we implemented all the solutions, you can see the positive effect of this wadi. You can see the water now, it's running slowly in the model. But now, just focus on the downstream areas here in Rak City and the Al-Fahlain area. You can see that now it's not affected anymore by the wadis. And this is actually what's running now is the water in the proposed channel, which will come later on in the future stage.
And this is one of the challenges, actually, finding a corridor for channels in an urbanized area. So this is one of our challenges. That's why we took the decision to store the maximum quantity of water in the upstream until solving the problem downstream. Because maybe, and it could happen, that we will be having the rain exceeding the 140 millimeter. This is number one. Number two, the dam is full, and we have another rain the next day or the next 2-3 days. It could be happening. So therefore, you need the spillway, you need a discharge channel to the sea.
So this is the last layout we want to show you, that here are the proposals and under construction dams. It's collecting the whole water. You can see minimal overflow going to the downstream channels, which Engineer Azam mentioned that it will come just in case the dams are full. It will also take the overflow of these dams and protect the whole city. Any questions?
Yes, do we have time for questions, or we can discuss? But we are ready, actually. If there is any question, aside from what has been presented now, we are ready to answer any question. And if you allow us to take some of the questions, why not? One? I'll ask. If nobody's asking, I'll ask. Rashid, which is better? To have the dam in the far upstream or in the downstream? If you have 3 dams in one wadi. Maybe this question is for the audience, actually. Yes, please.
Dams, and I think also we have to consider the risk of the dam. يعني احنا to consider, no, I know it's for the sheet flow coming from the external and hit the city, the dam sometimes it's becoming must. And also with all this, what I'm thinking to use is dam as a sustainable part of sustainable solution, thinking about to reuse the waters. But I think for some dams which is becoming close to the city, as I say here for your case, and yes, we have the same in Saudi Arabia, we have to take all the measurement and considerations for the risk. In case of la qadar Allah, the dam is breaking or whatever, the impact will be worst to the city. So this is something we haven't taken our considerations. When we design the dams, it's close to the city, there is no big distance to try to ensure the safety transmission of water to the city.
Thank you, Dr. Yes, it is actually a good, not a question, it is not a question. He's highlighting that we have to take care once we are designing a dam which is close to the city. In our dams, maybe you have noticed that we don't have very big storage dams. This is number one. We are dividing to sub-dams, or else we can construct a dam of 7.5 million cubic meter at the beginning of this wadi, and we can store the whole 6 or 7 million cubic meter in one location. But by this, the risk will be more. This is number one. Take into consideration that the area, the geology of that area is limestone, and maybe If somebody knows about what happened in 1963 in Italy, when one of the dams was collapsed, it is the same nature, but it was covered with trees. A landslide took place, and then it acts as a wave, and then after that, all the water flow into the downstream. Hundreds of people died, and still until now, we are learning from that lesson. We are taking into consideration all these things: geotechnical investigation, flood risk analysis, dam breach analysis, and we are taking into consideration all these things with the channels downstream. So the water will be guided in case, la samahallah, in case of the dam breach, the water will take its path. So, and we consider that this as a wood area. So nobody can touch that area.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.